Cheers. Hey guys, I'm Stefanie.
Slap my face. Go away from it.
Hey guys, I'm Stefanie.
And I'm Bryce.
And we are the Lugos. We are real estate agents here in our native Phoenix, Arizona. And we're a husband and wife duo. And one of the things that we're most often asked about is what it's really like working with your spouse. So I hopped onto Instagram and I asked everybody what their questions were. And I'm gonna go ahead and Bryce and I are going to go through them. Wow, I said "and" so many times right there. But we're gonna answer your questions. If you've got questions, we're gonna answer them.
Okay.
How did you guys get started? I guess that's a good place to start.
Okay, so we were working in corporate finance at Charles Schwab, and then actually that's where we met. So we were working in corporate finance, Charles Schwab, moved to American Express, and at American Express I was just tired of the grind. And I picked up a real estate book and decided that I wanted to go to real estate school. Told Stefanie about it and she was all for it. And when I went home that evening after the class, I told her that she should join with me and she was thrilled.
So thrilled. You came home with that book and you were like, I know what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Let's do it.
Yeah, I thought it would be a better opportunity for me to be able to do something that I have more passion for.
So then we took night classes for the next like 3 or 4 months after our day jobs, and we put in our 2 weeks right before Christmas time, and we passed our test, got our licenses, and by January 1st we were officially active real estate agents. 2015.
Question number 2.
How long did it take to close your first deal?
So
12 hours.
Yes, but no. So when we got into real estate, as we were getting into real estate, taking the classes, I was telling a lot of people at work that this was what I wanted to do. And once we started the new year and activated our licenses with our new brokerage, I got a phone call literally on that first day from a previous coworker that saw a home that popped up on the internet that she wanted to see. So we woke up and called our brokers and said, hey, we need a little guidance. What do? We want to go show this house. And luckily everybody was very helpful. Cross agent, the sellers, our buyers, everybody. And we closed that deal. Well, we wrote that offer that day and closed the deal about 35 days later. So
yeah, not a lot of people realize that like licensing is one thing, getting a real estate license is one thing, but there are like 12 other things that you have to do to actually become a functioning real estate agent after that. So we didn't have the key to get into the house. We didn't have the, I don't think we even had access to the MLS yet at that point. Because you have to be licensed to get access to those things first. And so we had activated our license, and normally we would have taken a week to be able to do all that stuff, but the opportunity arose, and one of the most important skills that you can have in real estate is being resourceful, and we were able to make it happen.
The key was funny because the seller just let us in the house, but that was after a good conversation with the listing agent. So everybody was accommodating. She was actually really happy to help, so made it pretty simple for us on the showing aspect.
Yeah, and then they were the best clients ever too, so smooth transaction for the first
really
go round. And then we found that not every transaction is not that smooth and simple.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Do you fight all the time?
No.
We're fighting right now.
No.
Just kidding.
We don't fight very much at all. Actually, I legitimately can't remember the last time we had a fight. Fight. Do we disagree about some things? Yes. Not even too often, but when it comes to business, strategizing, stuff like that, we both have our pros and cons, and we at this point have learned who knows what.
I think too, it's knowing your values, and I think that's just part of a healthy relationship too, is having alignment with your values. And from the very beginning, we just had a very clear understanding on what those were, what was important to us, how we wanted to not only be as individuals, but be as a married couple, and then as business owners. So having alignment there and having that foundation already kind of set helped make things pretty smooth. Do you ever have different, Do you ever have different perspectives on how to approach a project? If so, how do you handle it?
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to the not fighting part. We both, in knowing our values, we both have strengths in different areas, and because we've identified those together and recognized them when we're talking about certain things, if it's my strength, Stefanie knows that, and if it's her strength, I know that, and when there's a difference of opinion, we're able to overcome whatever it is.
But there's a lot of work that you can do with each other and alone to figure out what you can bring to the table, and then just having that really clear communication when a project comes up, or even just like a hairy deal that needs some finesse. Being able to rely on each other for what we uniquely bring to the table is good, and putting aside that ego.
Yeah, ego is the enemy.
Ego is the enemy. So this is getting into the next one. What are your strengths and weaknesses, and how do they play off each other? So now we're getting specific.
So for me, I'll just state it. I mean, I think that I'm a very strong negotiator when it comes to real estate. Strong negotiator, strong with analyzing property values, because we flip homes and because I'm so involved in our fix and flips. So those are my strengths, I would say.
Yeah, so identifying like the overall condition of the home,
Yeah.
and then anything with numbers you do really well.
Yeah.
You have a way with numbers. So I would say that for me, I love productivity. I love systems. I love all of the like business hacking, just in terms of making sure that we're using time effectively, that we're being productive. So a lot of that comes into play when we're creating the systems and workflows in our business, which are super, super important for any business. And I also love marketing. Marketing is super, super interesting to me. So if you actually look at our business, a lot of what I do is the operational stuff, the marketing stuff, any type of like content creation. Guess whose idea this was? but any of that kind of stuff I really like to do. So in that aspect, knowing our strengths and weaknesses there, it's really easy to actually start divvying up tasks from that standpoint, because then I know that anything operational or marketing needs to go in my wheelhouse, because those are my strengths. Anything negotiation wise,
handling the transaction, handling the showings, discussing values, and talking to cross agents.
Yeah.
And in this industry, some of the agents across you can be pretty
fierce.
Yeah, difficult, and I handle that a little bit better.
Yeah, this is a funny one. Do you ever have time alone? Even though we work together, we have a lot more time apart than you might think. And it goes back to a lot of what I do is that operational marketing stuff. That's desk work. Bryce is actually doing a lot of the stuff where he's visiting properties, he's going to inspections, meeting with appraisers.
Yeah.
So actually we probably have more of a normal work dynamic where I'm at a desk and he's at, another desk or out and about, but we're separate during the day, even though we're working towards a common goal.
So she does a lot better work alone in her office, and I do a lot better work alone in mine in Scottsdale. So
Yeah. What's the hardest part of working together? I would say it's not the fact that we work together. I think the hardest part is relying on the income.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's one single income.
Yeah.
That's and people are like, well, you guys can do twice as many sales, but we've discovered that that's not the case for us, because we carry the load differently, carry our weight differently, and we are just a power as one, but it's still just one income. It's a lot of real estate agents have a husband or wife that has an 8 to 5, like a corporate job, benefits,
insurance,
all of it. Yeah, so a lot of people have that, and that helps one, generate business, because you have a workplace of people through your significant other, and then two, you have a whole nother income. So if you have a bad month in real estate, you do have something else to supplement it.
Yeah, shocker, you have bad months in real estate sometimes.
Yeah.
Surprise. Definitely that's the most difficult part. From that standpoint too, knowing that that's the most difficult part, I would say that strengthens our support and commitment towards the goal. And so it's a lot easier to go all in with every client or every, kind of prospecting that we have to do, every work project that needs to be done. It's easier to go all in because that's kind of sink or swim at that point.
Yeah.
How do you both handle the stress of working multiple businesses together? We handle stress very differently. So I would say for me, I am very emotionally detached from a lot of things. It's not easy to get me really worked up when it comes to stress or things because, I don't know, I started a pretty good meditation practice. I work out a lot. I keep my diet in check. So a lot of what I do is to keep myself centered. So I try not to let stress totally overwhelm you because it definitely can. Bryce's approach is a little different where I would say you just go head on.
Yes.
So when you encounter stressful situations, you're just like a bulldozer, like let's just do it, do the work.
Probably not the healthiest way to go about it, I think.
Because burnout happens.
Yeah.
But you get a lot done.
I do.
Okay. So the last one is, what is your advice for couples thinking about going into business together? I'll let you go first.
Me?
Yeah.
I would say to make sure that you identify your strengths and weaknesses. Not one person is more powerful or smarter than the other.
That's so important.
Because that's ego, and then that would, in my opinion, lead to fighting and lead to an unsuccessful business and maybe worse. And we do have fun a lot. It looks easy, but it's not easy. We are working all the time.
Along those lines, my advice would be to be okay with being uncomfortable. It's okay to be uncomfortable. It's okay to work hard for a really long time because that's where the growth happens. When we got into the business, our main goal, I would say, was to replace our income within the first 12 months, which we did, but it doesn't stop there. You don't create a six-figure business and then let it roll you off into the sunset. You constantly are creating a six-figure business. Every month you are putting into your business is another month towards that ultimate goal of, whether it's income generating, whether it's the lifestyle you're looking to achieve. It doesn't just stop once you hit that goal. You have to maintain it. There's a lot of work that happens there. And you really have to have clarity on what that's going to look like on your marriage or your relationship and how that's going to correlate with your business success. It's just never easy. Birthdays, special occasions. We miss a lot. We go to a lot, but we miss a lot, and you have to make those sacrifices sometimes to make the dream happen. Well, thanks so much guys for watching our video today. If you have any follow-up questions about what we talked about here today, or if you have an idea for another video that we should do, let us know. But it was really fun getting to chat and reconnect a little over coffee. Be sure to follow us on Instagram. The link is below. And if you are a real estate agent looking for awesome resources to help grow your business, I've got some goodies for you down below too. Make sure you check out those links. Thanks again, guys.
Bye.
Bye.